Rotary, take it away for business this morning.
Yes, good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Mr. K. Good morning to all our viewers out there. Yeah, beginning China, Country Garden, they're asking for a 30 or is it 40-day reprieve to repay a bond. A grace period is what they're looking for. Look, the property sector in China continuing to see a lot of issues. Outstanding principal on their bond is about $534 million, about 3.9 billion renminbi. So they're asking for a 40-day grace period from their creditors. So basically a bond is an IOU. You issue a bond and you pay coupon payments, interest payments basically to your creditors. So of course they defaulted back in, what was it, 2021 or so. They've been having a lot of issues. The payment is due Monday, September 4th. There's going to be a meeting tomorrow, I believe, in order to vote on the proposal for that reprieve, to get that grace period. Toyota shut down all of their plants in Japan yesterday as a result of a computer glitch. They're saying that essentially it's not, they've ruled out a cyber attack. They're saying it was something, but this just shows you when you rely so much on technology, yes, it's great. I mean, I am a big supporter of tech. I believe everything in this life should be automated. But when there's a glitch, this is what happens. So they shut down all 14 of the assembly plants. But they said that they're going to restart operations later today. So we'll get a follow-up on that. But then you can imagine what that does as far as output and productivity and so on and so forth. So we'll see what's happening there. We now move to Europe, to Germany, largest economy in the Eurozone. Wages climbed, highest level in about a year. Second quarter, 6.6%. I mean, basically this means that salaries are climbing. Salaries are going up. And it actually outpaced inflation, right? So you had 6.6% annual wage increase, higher than what we saw in July as far as inflation is concerned. Although Germany still has a number of issues, but this, of course, is going to put more pressure on wage inflation. The European Central Bank probably continue to hike rates there. Still on the inflation front, we go to the UK and their annual shop price inflation. You have to love all these data points. It really gives you an insight into what's going on in this economy. So the British Retail Consortium releases what's called shop price inflation. That is how much is cost for, it's basically food inflation. It's basically a metric for food inflation. How much groceries cost the average British citizen. So it's been decelerating. So 6.9% in August, from 7.6% in July, from 8.4% in June. It probably gives the Bank of England and Mr. Andrew Bailey some reprieve. I mean, they still probably will continue to hike rates, but at least this shows that, their hikes they kind of have been working. So inflation there at least coming down, but core inflation is still relatively high. To the US now. Very big news here. Biden has an election coming up next year. So they have decided in the United States to negotiate prices for drugs, for medicine. This is under Medicare. As you know, the United States has a massive Medicare program for senior citizens, whereby they subsidize to a point healthcare and access to medicines. But prices are still high because they still have, free market capitalism. They still have allowance for drugs to be priced by the markets, but they've gone up. So for your out-of-pocket cost is an average of $6,400 per year. But this under the Inflation Reduction Act, which he signed, big act, and I think Biden is going to win next year. We'll see what happens. But he's basically going to renegotiate the prices for the 10 drugs there that are mostly used by seniors. They're saying the new prices will go into effect in 2026, and they're estimating about $25 billion in savings. Of course, an election is coming up, so he wants to prop up all these things because he wants seniors to vote for him. And then we come to job openings. These are actually coming down. This is what Rufai has been talking about as far as data to tell us what is going on. So job openings in the US for July, 8.8 million. The forecast was for 9.4. Openings in June was 9.1. So you're seeing a reduction in job openings, which means the labor market might be cooling off just a bit. And maybe the Federal Reserve doesn't have to hike rates as forecast, but that is still in view. So again, you see, wages in Germany, shop price inflation in the UK, job openings in the US, data. It gives you a look into what's going on. Another big story come from the cryptocurrency field. Grayscale is a cryptocurrency asset manager. They took the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, to court because they are trying to, they want to release a Bitcoin ETF, an exchange-traded fund. Exchange-traded funds are securities that have an underlying asset that tracks that asset basically. So you can have an ETF for Nigeria, you can have an ETF for whatever you want, video games, whatever. So a court ruled in their favor that should allow them to be able to release their ETF. The SEC has been, blocking this, but the court ruled in their favor. So now we might see this Bitcoin ETF release, and it's just another asset class that allows people to be able to track the movements of Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually responded. Trading of Bitcoin jumped about 4-5% yesterday. We come to, I think, Africa now. We're talking about investing yesterday and investing in Nigeria. So the all-share index hitting a new high, 66,490 points. The last high was in 2008, right? 66,371. It continued to climb, 15-year high. Stocks continue to move. If you look at the year-to-date returns on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, as at yesterday, 29.73%. If we have another incremental gain today, that will be 30%, and we're just touching September. So you've seen a number of stocks climbing in different sectors. Also, again, I keep mentioning this, downstream oil and gas stocks. Once fuel subsidies are removed and their profit margins were increased, they did pretty well. But also, if you look at Nigeria's infrastructure plans to build more, that is going to support industrial stocks. The financial sector has been doing well. Invest in Nigeria. Put your money, diversify, right? And then Gabon. This is just pretty sad. Whenever these things pop up, I always just want to give people a window into the economies of these countries. So Gabon, 2.3 million population, GDP about 20.2 billion. If you divide your per capita GDP is about $8,000. But then small population, so that would make sense, right? Exports oil, manganese, wood, palm oil. Oil production as of July was about 211,000 barrels per day. Although look at their poverty rate. Poverty is about 33%. Unemployment about 28%. So you folks were talking about bad leadership and how one person feels like the country is his sitting room and he can just do what he wants. If you look at the economic metrics for 2022, GDP growth was about 3%. Oil sector grew. When we look at Nigeria's GDP, the oil sector has been contracting since 2020. Oil grew. They took advantage of higher oil prices. Non-oil sector grew at plus 2.3. But you see, oil sector grew faster than the non-oil sector. Debt to GDP about 52%. Inflation, look at inflation, 4.2 for the year, pretty low. And forests cover 88% of the country. Personal disclosure, I was going to visit Gabon for my vacation this year, but now because of cool, and this is what's going to impact tourism, because tourism, their beaches are beautiful, they've got wildlife there, but these kind of things impact tourism, they impact businesses and so on and so forth. So pretty sad thing that's going on now in Gabon. That's our update.
Speaking of how sad things are in Gabon, it has a lot of prospect, and I don't know what is wrong with our African leaders. Just one family destroyed the country over the year, ruined the prospect of the country with so much. Even if Gabon never had oil, it was just the natural vegetation and all of that. Yeah. They should be rich because when they had a problem with finances recently, it was that natural vegetation, that carbon sink that came to bail them out. Yeah. They took a bond where they hedged their natural vegetation as a collateral for the bond.
Yeah.
But Rotus, let me now shock you and see the level of madness and corruption that goes on. A couple of years ago, a certain football star, Lionel Messi, came to Gabon to lay the ground stone for opening of what they call Stade de Gentil in Gabon. Guess how much he said he was paid for a country that has 33% poverty? 2.7 million pounds.
Wow.
For personal appearance. And that's the way we ruin the prospects of across Africa. We're talking about Rwanda yesterday. That's why when I was saying that, we can't say Rwanda is a perfect example, but at least he has done a lot of good things. Yeah. Rwanda spent $39 million for a trade deal with Arsenal to showcase Visit Rwanda. Right. And they said that thing was shrouded in corruption. Now, they are going to the German Bundesliga now. When are we going to get it right in Africa? You remember you reported the story of the South Africans and Tottenham.
Yeah, that deal. Also another
corruption. Yeah. When are we going to get it right? But I'm happy on the international scene. Look at what Joe Biden is doing. Look at that inflation reduction bill, which is powerful to stimulate his economy. And we can see the numbers coming out of that economy. We can see the targeted effect of what he has done. Look at the German economy. Look at all of the, what is it called, the wage numbers also going up. Look at how Germany also buffered the economy when things went south for them last year. So these are the things we are saying. But for us here, all the spendings, we are not seeing the reflection. Now the CBN is talking about the fact that, oh, let's brace up for the impact of how loans will go bad with farmers if the flood comes. The flood that will not build a dam. Have we ever asked them how much did the CBN lose in impact of loans to farmers when the last flood happened? Even the palliatives. Didn't we see the video of Bayelsa?
Yep.
Where they were bringing out spoiled palliatives from last year. So, if we want to build a country, let's sit down and build it. If we are not ready, let's tell the world we are not ready. Exactly. It's sad. Another sad one for Gabon. They've just ruined your holiday routes.
I'll probably stay here.
If you had paid, do you think they would have refunded your money?
If you had
paid to go, since they've closed.
No, I would have been stuck now because they closed the border. Anybody that's there,
no, if you hadn't gone, just paid ahead of time.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. Refunded.
I'm just saying there's a lighter, at least in every dark cloud. But let me just talk about. Can I just speak on a lighter note, because so many things heavy. I mean, well, kudos. It's great to see the numbers in the UK with regards to shopping. And because that was quite a concern over Christmas, I remember, because a number of people weren't able to go to shop. So let me give you a light story with regards to still on business. So there are people suing Burger King and Wendy's because they say that what they advertise in terms of their food is a lie compared to what they actually serve. I think this is quite interesting because, we call it advertising, we're just putting it there, but they're like, the patty and the bun I see on that picture and what you give to me physically is not the same. In their defense, Burger King is saying, well, we have not promised anybody that what we put on the picture is what we're going to give to you. And then, so it's going on and in the US and America. I'm just trying to tell you with regards to regulation and consumer protection, how important it is for businesses and the protection of consumers, whereby we see a lot of people lie about their offerings and services everywhere, even in this part of the world where we can learn one or two things, but they don't take it lightly in the UK or the US. So they said, well, we didn't promise you this, but consumers are saying, well, you put the picture up, it should look like what is on the picture. So just to mention that to people. So if you're lying about your business and you're promising without delivering, then maybe watch out. Nigeria might be the next destination. Let's talk about airlines who say they're going to leave at a particular time.
Oh my goodness.
And punishment and consequences. If you miss a flight because it was advertised for 7 a.m. and you take off at 7 p.m. because I've had situations like that. What are we have a consumer protection service. We have the Nigerian, what's it called?
The Consumer Protection Bureau.
FCCPC. What are I know they keep saying they're doing work, they're trying, but we must make a case for consumers in Nigeria. If not, we'll have a consumer coup if they are not careful. We'll sabotage. No more. I'm not taking anything. Just go down the line.
Yes, I mean, I was just looking at the numbers that you put out in the US Rotus, and I'm thinking, well, it's the economy.
Stupid.
Yes, it's the economy. If Biden gets the economy right, then definitely you can be sure that he has a very good chance of winning. If he doesn't get it right and you have another person called Trump coming on, you're in trouble in America for the next 4 years, and that will not be funny. So he has to get the economy right, and that's what he is punching as much as possible. If the job openings are opening up and it's improving and people have that feel-good factor with regards to the fact that they have jobs, they have money, forget about how bad the inflation is. If they have money to spend, no matter what the inflation figure looks like, they will be happy. I guess that's what the Germans are trying to do. So that's one issue. Then the second one is the issue of Gabon. Gabon really worries me. It bothers me. Because when I was looking at the stats regarding Gabon, I realized that the land mass of Gabon is about a third of Nigeria. But the population is only like the population of Alimosho. Imagine it's the population of Alimosho. So you have all of the people of Alimosho, not only covering the whole of Lagos, but most likely the whole of the southwest of Nigeria, a third of the landmass. So you look at that landmass and you look at all the good things that God has blessed them with: oil, manganese, wood, palm oil, and so on and so forth. And all of that goes in the pocket of one family.
One family.
One family ruling for 60 years.
Oh, gosh.
And yet the level of poverty in that country begins to worry you. One of the poorest on the continent of Africa. So you just can't understand. All we are asking for is African leaders. Wake up and do something. And those who are members of AU who are leaders, those who are members of ECOWAS who are leaders, they have to wake up and just say, this is no longer acceptable, and they will not allow it go on. So we don't have enough time. Oh, finally, just before you go, I must say that, what's your thought, in 20 seconds, what's your thought about the changes that Oscar Onyema has brought to the NGX? I think it's good. What do you think?
Look at the NGX right now, 60-something. It's been very good. Before that, good. Thumbs up. They're doing really good at the NGX.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you guys so much.